Good afternoon. Today we are starting our next unit. So switching gears, we've had a couple of more intense units. These last few units were lots of little nitty gritty details we really had to focus and pay attention to. The last unit, they were all power objectives. We'll get a little break this unit. It's not going to be quite as intensive. We still have to pay attention to all the different parts. We still have to be focused, be diligent, but it's a little bit of a change from what we've been doing. So we're going to start off with Co64. I can identify and label points, lines, and planes. So a point is a dot used to represent a location. It's always written is that two T's in written or one T? That doesn't look right. Is it two? Okay. Written with a capital letter. So when you are labeling the dot, it's always going to be a capital. So this would be point A, or we could have this would be figure. So this is point A, and this is figure W, X, Y, Z with all capitals. So those points will be all capitals. So there are points here for our figure. A line connects two or more points. It's straight. It goes on forever. And therefore it cannot be measured. An example would be we have point A, we have point B, and that line goes through the 2 points with the arrows. It's not a segment, the line goes through it. We could call that line AB with the arrows above the AB. We could go the other way and say it's line BA, or if there's like a little cursive L there, we could call that line L. So those are different ways to label that line. Line AB, line BA, line L, with that cursive L. A plane is a flat, two-dimensional surface that extends indefinitely. Just like that line goes on forever, a plane will go on forever. But when we draw it, we can't draw it going on forever. So a lot of times when you see a plane, it will, be like in a box. We could have point A, point B, point C, are points in that plane. And then you might see something like an R there. So you can name the plane after the points that are in it, like plane A, B, C. Or, just like with that line L, there was that L there, we have that R over in the corner, we could call it plane R. So, points always are next to the dot, always a capital. The lines connect our points. So we've got those capitals. And on the plane, we have those points. So they're capitals. Let's look at, I'm going to scroll up. And let's look at what we're going to work on now. It says, use the diagram for the following tasks. Label the plane N. So where do you think would be a good place to put that N? Elliot. Yeah. I like how you picked that top left corner because there's no points there. So that's an empty space. And it says label it that N, so you're going to use that lowercase n. Label points A, B, and C. So use your capital letters to label those points. Draw line AB, draw line BC. You're going to fill in on that plane those different parts. Then you're going to draw your own plane, label it M. So you're going to draw your own plane M. You're going to include 5 points, labeling them. Include 3 lines in that plane. So you're going to draw your own plane, like up here, draw a plane, and label all those different parts inside the plane. So, drawing that plane, something like that, and then label the parts inside of it. Then, why do lines have arrows on both sides? You should know the answer to that one. And draw 2 lines, line AB and line DE, and make them intersect at point C. I want you to think about what that would look like. See if you can draw that out. So like I said, our first page, kind of not so intensive, like when we were having to do all those multi-steps and looking at all those details, but we do have to pay attention. Are we using those capital letters? Are we connecting how we're supposed to? Are we putting arrows on? So there are little details that we do have to pay attention to in a different way than how we were doing it with the multi-steps. But still pay attention to the details. And just go, oh, thank goodness my brain gets a little bit of a break from all of those multi-step equations we've been mastering. So when you finish with this, because we should all be able to finish with this homework today. When you finish with this, remember, first things first, finish your Khan Academy. If Khan Academy is all done, then you should not be on your device. Work on the math packet. Work on practice works. Okay, there are all of those objectives from last week's test. They are all, you have to pass them. There are quite a few of us who still have a lot of retakes to do, okay? Make sure you're paying attention to that. If you are watching this at home and you have any questions, make sure you come see me. I hope you are well, and I hope to see you soon. Have a wonderful day.